So if you weren't aware already, last week I made a video in response to a community post that I made on YouTube where I asked you all if you wanted to see a review of how I used AI technology in a way in my work that I believed was as ethical as possible, at least at the individual level. Now, almost all of you that responded not only rejected that idea completely, but you expressed your extreme distaste in AI. The
There was a lot of negative comments for this. A lot of negative comments, bro. Like, it was absurd the amount of negativity this man received just for that, bro. I'm gonna let the video play a little bit longer before I even voice everything that I'm about to say.
was so intense that I decided, instead of making the video with a focus on the artistic techniques and strategies I used, I would also spend a lot more time sharing how I took specific measures to ensure that it wasn't infringing on any individual artist's work. Now, some people misinterpreted or straight up disagreed with that, saying that any use of AI whatsoever is still full-on plagiarism, and that I still disagree with. But to those of you who
See, I
said
could
that
I could still respect him for standing on his own opinion though, and not bending over towards other people's opinion. That is one thing I will say about Josh. He's good on sticking to his own opinion. And honestly, I don't have any type of issues with the way he went about things. I just think people are not open to hearing other people's ideologies. And it really just boils down to like an ego thing. People are too stuck up in their own mindsets to even consider other people's opinions. But that's society for you.
because I paid a subscription to a service that's not for free, that has engaged in theft of all sorts of content from artists without their permission online, that is supporting that theft. And that I don't disagree with. You have a point there, and that's not something I wanted to pretend didn't exist. The goal I had with the video wasn't to say that
It's good that you pointed that out, though. It is good that he did that.
was morally flawless because I found this strategy, but it's more so that due to my beliefs that AI isn't going to disappear, that it might be helpful to share how to use it in better ways so that those who might use it in harmful ways by accident could do better given the opportunity. But the way I expressed and presented that video was honestly not a very good way to convey those ideas. And even though it's not like I didn't expect that backlash with the views that I have, knowing the context of the situation right now, the extremity of it was also just completely warranted because of how distorted the video became by the time I actually created it. You see, I've made a few videos over the past few years talking about the limitations with AI, encouraging people, sharing my frustrations, and I was also dealing with my own fear of being replaced. I'd only just started to make any real money with my artwork alone when I did my first Artist Alley back at Lightbox Expo in 2022. However, over time, as AI has improved more and more, I eventually came to terms with how I felt on it. And I even felt quite positive about how it could be used in the future in many ways, because there are a lot of problems in the industry and the whole world, honestly, that I feel and see every day that I don't like. And I would like to do as much as I can to point them out and hopefully get them fixed, which honestly is a little bit too overzealous, but still. After reading many of the comments, though, I felt really bad. And not only did it seem like I was being personally attacked, but many of you seem to be completely sold out on the idea that any AI is completely useless, that it's pretty much a just huge blight on humanity itself. And that
See, and that's the root of the problems right there, bro. Because off rip, regardless. Okay, before I get too deep into this, I know most people use Chat GPT, right? A lot of people use Chat GPT, whether you're looking for like a super detailed summary on something that you were researching on, or you just need like a quick tip on some type of thing that you're working on, whatever project, right? Everyone uses some form of AI, but the thing is, people are so against it when it comes to art that they completely ignore the fact that they still use features of AI. It might not be art related, but they still use features of AI, right? And to just blatantly say like, oh, like all AI is bad, it's like, if all AI is bad, then why are you still using ChatGPT, bro? Or like the new one for college that could like take your own notes and turn them into flashcards. Like people are using this type of stuff on a daily basis, bro. But yeah, as soon as it comes to art, immediately they want to hop on the bandwagon and say like, oh yeah, all AI is bad, when they know damn well they're still using some of it themselves, but they ignore that part. And then for them to be like so negative and harsh in the comments attacking this man's like whole persona, it's that's where the the main issue started to get deviated away, and it was just more of like y'all are attacking this man's whole career over his opinion. Like that's where things were getting sideways. People need to understand that the most powerful thing you have is your tongue, bro. Use it wisely. That is the strongest tool in your arsenal. But people are just so carelessly saying just extremely negative, harsh words and not even considering how the other person's going to handle that, how the other person's going to react to that. When they know they wouldn't even do this in person. That's the other thing, too. They would never be as harsh to Josh like in person. Like, I don't believe that people would be this extremely negative if they actually saw the man and sat down and talked with him. But because it's on the internet, yeah, they feel like they could say whatever they want. No consequences. But the thing is, this is what drives content creators to take like those year-long breaks that you see people doing. This is part of that whole span of just straight constant negativity and backlash in their comment sections. This is what gets people to take a step back from doing the thing that they used to love, which is making content for their audience, right? But it's like as soon as they don't agree on a specific topic or the content creator's opinions, then now everyone's got problems when they supported the person from day one. It's not right, bro. It's not right. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Just because somebody does or says something that you don't necessarily agree with doesn't mean you have to absolutely like rip them a new one because you don't agree with them. If the shoe was on the other foot, you would want the person to understand where you're coming from. So it's like, why are you not giving them the opportunity to understand what it is you're trying to say without you being just extremely harsh from the get-go? People just need to be very aware of the words that they're using, bro. Plus, that would easily make the conversation a lot more understandable too, if you're not just trying to start an argument, but you're actually voicing your opinion in a respectful manner. There's just things to think about.
Something I still disagree with. I disagree with then. I think it's really another way for us to point the finger at something else that happened to show a lot of the ills of society. And I think that ultimately AI technology will have the same ethical spectrum as any other new technology has had on humanity since the dawn of electric light bulbs, for example, which resulted in humans working way too much, working into the night, and now suffering from insomnia. It used to be that whatever you couldn't do without the sun, you just didn't do, and we would be forced to spend time doing other things like interacting with each other and dancing and, creating meals and sleeping. However, I'm not saying that again to dismiss and pretend that this thing is completely flawless and that I am morally completely absolved. I do believe that the individual does have a more significant part to play, though, in how quickly or significantly that spectrum goes positive to negative and can be used to positive use and detrimental use. And that's something that I wanted to contribute to with my intentions for that video.
Hmm.
That being said, reading a lot of those comments, I got really hurt and I started to get pretty angry. I got pissed off as time went on.
Hey,
Some
I would have got angry too. I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have been petty and start replying to some of them. But yeah, that's that's just me though. Yeah, it's something about like when a certain amount of people just keep saying negative things about you. Yeah, you start to feel some type of way about yourself. You start to question basically your whole existence by that point. You're like, man, maybe they really are right and I'm wrong. But it's like there's no right or wrong here. It's just people's opinions going over each other. It's a mess, bro.
called me a fraud, that I should remove the term artist from my bio. There were videos made to capitalize on the drama that I looked at, and
See like that's going overboard to call this person out of his name when it's like this man has literally been giving y'all content for years. But just because he makes one video, has one opinion, now y'all just absolutely just rip him a new one with these negative comments, bro. And they know they in the wrong too. That's another thing. Everyone that wrote those comments, they know they're in the wrong, but they continue to do it. It doesn't make any sense. Have some human decency.
had even more negative comments. People were talking about how they always knew something was off with this guy. That's why I unsubbed so, all this time ago. And I looked way too much into that. That is not a good thing to do as a content creator, no matter what, because you can't avoid that stuff at a certain point. So at some point, my emotions began to include anger, and it spilled over into that video as I released it, and it ended up being called "How to Use AI by a Real Artist." That real artist term was really the stepping point there for a lot of people. And that
Yeah, I didn't really think too much into the title. Unless people actually sat there and watched the video and tried to hear what he was saying, which I'm sure half the people viewing it were not trying to understand what he was saying. Then it's just gonna go over their heads. It's gonna completely go over their heads, and then they're gonna be too focused on the things that don't even matter.
pretty much ruined the effectiveness of the video, regardless of how I actually presented my ideas in the video, because I ended up just caring way too much about what people thought of me and my work instead of the more general message that I had.
Gotta make that money.
Although I still disagree with many people's views on AI itself, I do want to apologize to anyone who felt cast aside or ignored or even shamed by me in that video. That wasn't my intention, and I let the emotions get the best of me, even though I tried my best to mitigate them. And
And the crazy thing about it is, even after this apology, people are still gonna talk bad stuff on his name, bro. Still.
it is important to address how people feel. It's rough. That's why a lot of people are angry. People are extremely scared, and I don't expect to be loved and paraded and celebrated for sharing these views. But it is something that I definitely believe I could have done better and want to make this video to express better. I may not be able to control what people think of me at all times, but I can improve how I present myself online, especially now that I'm more aware of the influence that I have, which I honestly did not think mattered that much for most of my career, believe it or not. AI technology isn't like NFTs like people mentioned. It's a tool that has impacted every
I'm not gonna lie, NFTs, they came and went, didn't they? It was here one day, and then nobody talked about them after that. Shoot, I remember I even tried to get into it just to see what the hype about. But yeah, that trend quickly came and died. Yeah, that was very short lived. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I just don't want to. I don't. If you guys want to watch the full video, I'm sure you could find it on YouTube very easily. But I'm just gonna end it here just so this video is not too long.